Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Council Chambers this evening. We are here this evening for a public information meeting for a planning application for a land use bylaw map amendment to rezone from residential 1 and 2 unit, the R2 zone, to the residential multi-unit R4 zone. The applicant is Kyle Garden from Dropline Properties, and the file number is 23-03. It is Wednesday, April 19th, 2023, and the time is 6 p.m. My name is Lexi Meisner, and I am the counselor of the area. The counselor for the area hosts this meeting as part of the planning process to inform the public when the municipality has received an application that may be of interest to the community. Planning staff will explain the policies under which council may consider the application and the criteria used to evaluate the proposal. At this time, there's no evaluations or decisions made. The information meeting is also an opportunity for the applicant to present the proposal directly to those interested and allows neighbors to ask questions and provide comments. This evening we have with us Katie Ullman, our planner with the municipality of the County of Kings. We have the applicant Kyle Garden with us as well, and myself, Councillor Meisner. And from there, we will have our presentation from Katie, and after that, we will have an opportunity for public comment and questions.
Thank you, Councillor Meisner. So as Councillor Meisner stated, this is a public information meeting for a land use bylaw map amendment. So the purpose of this meeting is to inform the public of the application, explain the planning policies that enable this application to occur, and to receive preliminary feedback. Please note that no opinions have been formed on this application tonight and no decisions will be made. So this is our process for land use bylaw map amendments. So we've already received a completed application from Mr. Garden. And right now we're at the public information meeting. Properties within 500 feet were notified for this meeting, and property owners, should this make it to a public hearing, property owners within 500 feet will be notified again. So the next step after this step would be a staff review. So taking the application and looking at the policy that we have and seeing if it fits within the municipal planning strategy and land use bylaw. After that, a report is created and that is presented to the Planning Advisory Committee, and they make a decision on whether to recommend it goes to first hearing with council or not. So if it does go to first reading and council gives it a first reading, it then goes to a public hearing where the public again has an opportunity to speak, and then it would go for second reading if it was successful. And after second reading, there is a 14-day appeal period for anyone that is an aggrieved person. The background of the proposal, as Councillor Meisner stated, the properties are currently zoned residential 1 and 2 unit, and the application is to rezone properties to the residential multi-unit R4 zone. So the new zone would allow a multi-unit development on this property on McKittrick. So there is the approximate location of the application. So it's on the corner of McKittrick and Nichols. So this is the subject property. Parcel ID number 55325377. So right now, as I stated, it is within the R2 zone, and you can see that there is some commercial to the east of the property, some general commercial, and then we just on the other side of that there is some residential mixed density zoning, residential multi-unit zoning, and then beside that, you can't see that in this map, but kind of above that little tiny pink R4 on the side, there is R3 zoning as well. And then the lands to the north and the west are zoned residential 1 and 2 unit. Property does sit within the residential designation. So this is the proposed site plan. This is a preliminary site plan of the proposed development. So as you can see right now, there are 6 buildings on the property. Each would be 3 stories with 16 units in each building. These are pictures of the property. So the first picture is on the property looking west towards the center, and the second photo is looking from the access off of McKittrick towards the north. So for policy review, the municipal planning strategy, policy 5.3.3, consider amendments to any one of the zoning maps in the land use bylaw, provided the application is for a specific development and is to rezone land to another enabled within the same designation unless the zone change is specifically prohibited within this strategy. Municipal Planning Strategy Policy 5.3.5 states that to consider in relation to all applications to rezone land that A, the applicable zone placement policies, including any specific policy criteria for applying the proposed zone, is set out within this strategy. And Municipal Planning Strategy Policy 3.1.2 establish the following residential zone in the land use bylaw. So C is residential multi-unit, lands located in this zone are for compact development in strategic locations, such as along main transportation corridors and near employment and shopping destinations. This zone is intended to include up to 16 residential units in a dwelling in a variety of building types. So Municipal Planning Strategy 5.3.5, consider in relation to all applications to rezone land, B, the impact of both the specific development proposal and any other possible uses permitted in the proposed zone. So that's something that we take into consideration when we are looking at these applications, is we don't just look at the specific application, we look to see what a rezoning would enable in that, to make sure that anything that could be enabled as of right after a rezoning occurs is a good idea for that area and it fits within the municipal planning strategy and policies. So for all applications, we have a general criteria. So the municipal planning policy 5.3.7. So we have a long list of things that we look at when we're assessing applications. So is the proposal in keeping with the intent of the municipal planning strategy? Financial impacts on the municipality, the land use compatibility, adequacy and proximities of schools, recreation and community facilities, the creation of traffic hazards or congestion, adequacy of fire protection. So for the creation of traffic hazards and adequacy of fire protection, so what we do after a public information meeting is we send out requests for comments to different agencies that would be affected, like the fire department, the Department of Public Works. So we get all of their comments back and put that into our report to the Planning Advisory Committee. The other things we look at are adequacy of sewer and water services, the potentials for flooding and serious drainage problems, negative impacts on any well fields or other groundwater supplies, pollution including soil erosion, siltation, or siltation of water courses, negative impacts on lake water quality or wetlands, and negative impacts on neighborhood farming operations. We also look at the general site suitability, so grades, soil, the geologic conditions, proximity to water courses, marshes, bogs, swamps, and proximity to utility right-of-ways. Just to reiterate, this is where we are in the process. We are at the public information meeting, and 87 notices were sent out for this application to inform property owners of this meeting this evening. And should it get to a public hearing, those same property owners within 500 feet would be notified again, and it would be advertised in the local newspaper. And if anyone has any questions or comments and they're not comfortable speaking out tonight, you can feel free to contact me by phone at 902-690-6173 or by email at kollmann@countyofkings.ca.